Mr. Marchant.
Thank you, Ambassador. As you know, Texas, global trade is very important to Texas. In fact, Texas leads all states in exports and have for the last 12 years. And in my district is Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, which trade is very, very important. Yet, there are people in my constituency that are very skeptical of DPA and these trade agreements. Can you give some assurances or give some examples of why these trade agreements would be very, very positive to Texas and to my constituents?
Well, you know your constituency well. My understanding that in Texas, you're exporting about $8 billion to Korea. And that's about a 54% increase over the last few years. And same is true in Colombia, 140% increase. Panama, 93% increase. You're seeing the benefits of these trade agreements directly in Texas as you see your exports grow, and that's certainly our goal with TPP and TTIP, is to see that kind of export growth come with the opening of these markets.
To complement that, just recently American Airlines has announced it's going to start a nonstop flight from Dallas to Shanghai. So recently the Chinese government, as you know, announced that it was going to make Shanghai an example, a free market example. Can you talk to us a little bit about that experiment and how important that is and how that will dovetail into your negotiations with them?
It's an interesting question. This is the Shanghai Free Trade Zone that they announced last year, and we are monitoring that very closely to see what it is they intend to do and how they intend to use it. And that, together with the outcomes of the third plenum in November, where they laid out a reform program, there's a lot of positive signals in the third plenum program and in the Shanghai Free Trade Zone proposal about where China wants to take its economy, how it wants to open its economy, liberalize it, have it be more market-oriented, take the government out of the process of approving every investment. One way we're following up on that is through our BIT negotiations, our bilateral investment treaty negotiations, because that gives us an opportunity to put to the test whether when China says it wants to move towards a so-called negative list, meaning companies can invest and do business in China everywhere and anywhere in any sector unless it's explicitly prohibited, to see how far they're willing to go in that regard, how far they're willing to take the third plenum outcomes or the sentiment behind the Shanghai Free Trade Zone and drive it through reform in their economy. We're in the midst of those discussions, and those will be continuing, I think, for several more months and longer. But that gives us an opportunity to put to the test whether some of those expressions of reform are being translated into reality.
Thank you. Yield back.